Welcome to CKSK, the Chad Kubanoff Studio Kitchen. I'm Chad Kubanoff. This is my studio kitchen, and I'm on time. Big successful day, even ready to go, so I'm pretty pumped about it. Today, oh, you got this screen here. Maybe I should move that down a tiny bit. Let's punch it a little bit. Should I move that out? That's all right. Let's keep moving. Today, we are going to be working on a Pho Soup Dumpling. So this is something I made in the past, probably 2 months ago, something like that, 3 months ago, for a Cook in the Comments episode where we got challenged to make a pho soup dumpling. It turned out amazing. It was really fantastic. And we are starting to do dinners again. So we're having private dinners in the space, and one of the requests for our next dinner is the pho soup dumpling. So I want to lock that in. We're going to make that again today. I'm writing down the recipe the whole time for me, so I can replicate it and hopefully make them a fantastic course on the night. But before we get started, we'll just say hello, quick hello to everybody. I appreciate everybody jumping in right now. Chad, do you think Japanese food is better than Vietnamese food? No, I do not. No, I do not. Not in any way, not at all. Maybe when I was younger, before I really got into Viet. When I was a young teenager, sushi was kind of blowing my mind at that time. Right now, honestly, I'm kind of bored of Japanese food. It's a little bit of the same thing every time. Or maybe I should say I'm bored of sushi, at least sushi. I'm over sushi, I'm out. I don't need to eat it for a while. I'm done. Ramen I'm still into. Ramen, okay. Still exploring, still learning. I like it. Sushi I'm out with. Viet food, it's just so good. Even me, I'm spoiled right now. My level of gratitude for Vietnamese food has gone down because I just eat it all the time. But I had bun mam yesterday, and it was incredible. So Viet food's still top tier. Title, Pho Soup Dumpling. Wait, what? Is that on? Oh, I see, I got you. Corrupt Viet, I think you might be a kick mod. Let me look into doing that. But yes, that does make sense. Sleigh Rider, I told you already, the au gratin potatoes. You had your chance. My wife shut it down last week. She shut it down, but it will come. It does sound good to me. Okay. Yeah, it is a really fantastic dish. It really is. It worked out so well last time. I'm really excited to do it again. I'll tell you the one thing I have some concerns. Oh, I should probably put this stuff over here. This beef. The last time we made this, the beef was thinly cut and very, very fatty. So this beef is not as fatty as the last portion, which I'm a little upset about. I think I'm just going to be aware of that. We'll on the day of the event, I'll definitely buy fattier beef if I want it. We'll see how this works out today. But last time the filling for the wrapper was so good and so unctuous and so luxurious with all the beef fat that was in there. So I have some concerns that it won't have that same level of luxury that I had last time, but I can adjust for that. Really what I'm looking for right now, lock down the flavor profile, make sure I measure out all the grammage for the spices, and I'm happy with the meat and the gel ratio. I'm comfortable making those wrappers again, so I really want to do this well. I'm really excited about... nice, Sleigh Rider. It'll come, I promise. Very excited now that we're starting to do pop-up dinners again. I'm excited to really build out what I guess my cuisine is and to really lock down a few signature dishes in this space that people want to come and they want to try. And that's going to be my goal right now for the streams going on in the mornings, is to build this base of signature dishes that we offer here in studio for the people that are able to join us in-house. So we're going to get started with that. I'll break this down for you step by step as we get along, but the first thing we need to do is get the dough started. Okay, so let's get the gelatin out of here. And the dough is a pretty easy recipe, pretty standard in terms of Chinese noodle dough. All right, so I'm just going to make sure I write down everything. This is, for me, this is all documentation and making sure I can repeat this. One of the cool things about the Chinese-style dough, or this sort of Xiaolongbao wrapper, is it's a hot water dough. And that's a really interesting technique that we don't really do, or we're not trained out in the West, or when we're learning classical French cuisine. And it creates a very unique dough. Super chewy, Wonderful texture. And the first thing we do is we got some water we're going to bring to a boil. I have some wheat flour in a bowl, and this is just all-purpose wheat flour, another interesting thing. I think typically for a dough like this, I would expect it to be bread flour, but it's all-purpose flour, so that's cool. Even more accessible for people. Feels like the streams are shorter these days. They used to last for hours as opposed to just 1 hour recently. Yes, Wallace, that is accurate. We've really been just playing around, figuring everything out. I think I have a very clear vision of where I want to go and what I want to do in the next coming weeks, coming months. I don't want to kind of get through all of that right now. I'll get into it as we get closer and closer to the designated start points of these individual plans that I have. But yes, that is true. I will tell you the first thing that is going to happen. Wednesday, July 1st, we are having our first banh mi event. So we will be giving away 30 banh mis to the first 30 people that come. And the only thing that was required or asked of you is you take a bite and you tell us what you think on camera. We're going to have Tang there. My wife and I will be running the stall, or the really pop-up stand, I guess you could say. It's not going to be a stall. It's really going to be a grill and a table. But I'll be slinging banh mis. My wife will be helping me, and Tang will be there with the camera. So we'll get more details for you on that if you're able to come. But it is Wednesday, July 1st, will be the banh mi giveaway event. So that's exciting. Okay. Flour is here. We're going to get our water to a boil. Our water is coming to a boil right now. When you're doing this kind of dough, you really want to make sure your water is hot. And I don't mean hot. I mean like boiling. The only way you're going to really screw this dough up, oops, wrong one. The only way you're really going to screw this dough up is by putting not hot enough water inside. We need to have the water hot enough inside to activate the wheat flour. So we have boiling water. We're going to throw that into our boiling, into our flour right away, and we'll give this a mix. So you can see that this is not a lot of flour, or not a lot of water rather. We do this in 2 stages. So the first is the boiling water, just to kind of activate the flour. And then we're going to add some room temperature water after that. And I'm just trying to mix this up well. Knead this a little bit. Elizabeth, what are you talking about here? Wheat or rice noodles just depend on the dish. I don't know what you're referencing there. This particular one is a wheat noodle. Okay, so I'm just trying to incorporate all the hot water into the flour evenly. And once I get this fully incorporated, it's kind of getting very grainy, I guess. It just looks like an even texture at this point. But actually I can squeeze the dough pretty well and it's coming together. So that's good. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and add the rest of our water, room temperature water now, which is here. Okay. All right, so we've incorporated the hot water well. Now we'll get the rest of this room temperature water right inside, and we'll mix that together. And from here, we're going to give this a quick little knead. And then after we knead it a little bit, we'll let it rest for 10 minutes, and we'll come back and knead it again until we get it nice and smooth. So I'm just going to incorporate this with the spatula until I feel I can get my hands in here. And that's probably right about now. Okay. What's up, Big Chad? What's up, Gage? Have you seen Josh Elkin stuff? Josh Elkin sounds very familiar, but I'm not pulling a face on there. Is he a TikToker right now, like a private chef TikToker? That's what I'm thinking about. Which do I prefer? Wheat or rice noodles for me, preference-wise? When we're saying noodles, I'm taking that as Chinese-style noodle. If that includes pasta, then I think wheat flour has to win. But if we're not including Italian pasta in that and purely the noodle, I guess I'm gonna go rice flour. I tend to usually prefer bun or hoteo over like me, or like a egg noodle kind of vibe. But I do really like this style of hot water noodle, where it's kind of chewy. I like that texture so much. And Italian pasta I enjoy very much too, of course. Okay, so we're mixing this up. The dough is coming. It's getting rather firm, but definitely not smooth yet. So I'm gonna keep on mixing it until all the flours come together on it. And then we're gonna let it sit before we really get it nice and smooth. So the flour can fully hydrate with all that water, and I think we're probably good here. So right now I have a dough, it's kind of grainy, it looks like, but it's together at least. So from here, we'll cover this, let it sit for 10 minutes, and we'll start working on the other projects. Okay, but that seems good. Cool. Cover this, wash my hands real quick. Let's do that one. Woo. Sometimes I just changed all my buttons, I got confused, but we're good to go. All right, wash my hands real quick. All right, I really like this kind of dough. I want to start making more stuff with this style of wet dough. I've actually made more than I need today because I wanted to have extra. I might just cook the kids up some noodles for lunchtime. We'll see. Hoteo or bunrio, for me, that's actually a hard question. I really like hoteo ko. I do really like it, the dry style hoteo dish. But bunrio is a top tier soup. That's a hard one. That's way harder than pho versus bumbal. I'll tell you that. And that's harder than buncha versus buntit nung. I think more often I'm going to take hoteo dry noodle. I've been into that. Maybe I'm just going through a phase right now, but I'm into it. JNC, eating Viet pork right now. That's good. Do you think Italian cuisine hold the #1 spot in the world on influence? That's a good call. On influence. Maybe. I was trying to think maybe France, just for how many techniques that were created and spread throughout. But right now, I mean, there's no argument that spaghetti and pizza have taken over the world. Every culture's kids love spaghetti and pizza. There's no culture that I found, heard about, seen. There is no kids from any culture that doesn't like spaghetti and pizza. So maybe it does. Maybe that's an accurate statement. Aloha, what's up, man? All right, let's cover this up. That was a little loud. Cover this. Next. All right, next I want to make a spice oil. So similar to like a chili oil that you would kind of make, we're going to make a spice oil. And the one thing that I did last time when I made this dish, I made this soup base with plain chicken stock. I did that differently this time. This time I have the soup base is literally pho broth that I've gelatinized, I guess. So the last time I took all the pho spices and I put them in an oil and I made a spiced oil. So we're going to do that again. But when we had a tasting before, we all wanted just more pho flavor. So I did that in the broth. So we're going to kind of double up on the spices. We're going to have the spice in the actual inside of the dumpling. And then we're going to have the spice in this oil that we're going to make as a topping for the dumpling. So on the oil, that was the wrong one, bro. So for the oil, we have all the basic spices you're going to see in a bowl of pho, or in a pot of pho, rather. Coriander, cinnamon, star anise, clove, black cardamom. There's some dried shallot. There's ginger in here as well. And we're going to simply fry this in some oil. Okay. I kind of mix Med food together with Greek and Italian. Okay. I'm down with that. I think I'm definitely a little addicted to Greek food. Greek food's probably highly underrated. I would say that. Greek food's pretty damn good. I've watched your videos of all the Chai food and wish we could bring the culture around that to the States. I think I could eat more vegetarian if it looked that good here. Yeah, Vietnamese vegetarian food in Vietnam is amazing. I do not miss meat when I eat at that type of establishment. And I even crave vegetarian rice because it's its own thing. it's not just rice with vegetables on it. It's rice with a lot of these meat replacement items that are delicious in their own way and have their own unique texture that is easily craveable. So I love it. And absolutely, I think if we had that sort of culture in America, people would eat a lot more vegetarian. It'd be easier to eat a lot more vegetarian. Okay, the one thing I'm going to do with this black cardamom is I'm going to break it. So I just got a mortar and pestle. We'll try to smack this thing. That's all we need. And this black cardamom is a super strong spice. Now, I told you before that the beef that I have is not as fatty as I want it to be, or it was last time when it was so amazing. So I think I'm going to try to fry my spice mixture. If I had beef fat, that would be the obvious choice, right? That would just be so simple and perfect, but I don't. So I think what I'm going to try to do is use half pork fat and half chicken fat as my oil medium for the spice mixture. Now, we'll see. I think it's going to be okay. I feel like the pork fat is not that strong, overly in flavor, and the chicken fat is not that strong. It's definitely going to add its own flavor to it. But I've had pho before made with chicken bones in the broth, though, beef and chicken bones in the broth. It was great. It worked out. So that's the idea here. Oh, I should probably scale everything. Yes, I'm going to scale everything. Okay. All right, so we're going to do half chicken fat. Okay. And again, I'm doing the half pork fat, half chicken, because I think if I just did chicken, it might be a little too strong in the chicken flavor. This is a beef dish, so I'm not trying to go absolutely crazy with loading it up on chicken flavor. Okay. And I'm just going to document everything I do from now, especially for this, where I'm trying to kind of lock in these signature recipes that we're going to be producing out of this space for the dinners. I want to make sure I write everything down by the gram, and we have this locked down. And if you guys are interested in this kind of stuff, every recipe will be completely available on Patreon and YouTube memberships. And we'll get to that. That'll be a normal part of this streaming thing for me. Okay, fat is on the burner. And basically, just like you're going to make any chili oil, we're going to fry the spices, the aromatics inside the fat and try to bring out that flavor as much as possible. I'm going to add my seeds right now as the oil is heating up. And I also have some garlic that I will be adding, some whole garlic cloves. I'm just going to take them and snip them up right now just to release some. I could either snip it or I could smash them too, I guess. But the garlic will burn before the seeds do, so I'm going to throw them in at the end. And the idea here is we're just making it super aromatic, heavy spice load. We want this oil to be very powerful with flavor. Okay. What does cardamom taste like? Well, black cardamom and green cardamom are completely different things. So sometimes green cardamom tastes like Fruit Loops to me. That might be wild, but it does. Green and black cardamom tastes like menthol. Very, very, very different spices. They're not substitutable in any way. They are not even close to the same thing. So you must be aware of what is required for the recipe or asked for in the recipe and follow through with that because it's a big deal. Okay, let me just make sure I get my garlic. Okay. All right. Okay, so we want to get these. Sometimes it can be hard to tell when your spices are done. Really what I'm looking for is the aromatics. I want to smell it. I can start to see some color changes, but the problem is that spices will burn quick, so you can't completely rely on that. And the oil's hot, so it continues to carry over cooking too, so you do need to be careful about this kind of thing. I also have some annatto seed. Oops. Let me look for my annatto seed. Hey, I'm new to the live stream and don't know what stage you're at in the pho making process. Well, we're making a totally different style of pho. This is a pho soup dumpling. So the broth is being made. Right now we're making aromatic oil. But you're pretty new. We're just starting. I'm just looking for. There it is. Okay. So this is annatto seed powder. This is just like basically a natural red food coloring. And it's very often added to chili oils to give it that red color. Okay, so this is getting aromatic. I can smell the chicken fat, I can smell the pork fat, but I want to fry the spices for a little bit longer. For adding the garlic, is there a huge difference between smashing and slicing flavor-wise? Yes, it depends on what you're doing. The smashing would, if I smashed right now, the flavor would get released faster, which is nice. But there is a higher risk of burning because there's smaller particles. I think really about the smashing and the slicing, it's about your chance of burning. And even before you're burning, you're getting toasting flavors. So probably more important than anything else is that it's cut evenly. So your garlic is getting to that level of density, whatever you want it to be at the same time. I don't know if it's obvious or not. But if the smaller your garlic is, whether it's smashed or minced, the stronger the flavor will come out because it's easier to be released. Okay. So I don't want to fry this too hard. I do not want to kick the heat up on this. I want to take my time. It is absolutely frying. Can we zoom in there? No. Oh, that's my wide. There we go. Okay. So you can see the bubbles coming off of the oil. Okay. And I can smell it getting not burnt, but I would say highly fragrant, so I'm pulling it off the heat now. Now I'm concerned. The annatto seed powder is going to go inside. And I'm going to add all my garlic while this is still hot. So at this point, I'm just going to naturally let this cool down here. And you can hear, once that garlic goes inside, maybe you can hear it. It's got a real big sizzle once that garlic goes inside because the garlic has its own natural water. And at this moment, there's been no water for this to interact with yet. So we know the oil's really hot. All right, so we're going to let that just chill out. And we want the oil to completely infuse with all these spices. Smells great. Looks good. Should be good. So once that cools down, we'll strain it, but we'll let it keep cooling. SRT, very big fan. Appreciate that. Attention spans are so short. 2 hours making one dish is going to be a hard sell live. I agree with you. I agree with you. And it's hard to make it, hard to keep it moving in a good way. If you guys are asking a lot of questions, that's great. Then the chat can just kind of blow by. But if it's not, then it's hard for 2 hours. So that is part of the plan. That is part of the lessons I'm learning. The show that we will be producing, Tang and I will be producing, I'm going to say in 4 weeks, maybe 5 weeks. I think I'm really excited about it. I've been watching all the old school cooking shows, trying to figure out what do I like so much about them? Why were they so good? Can we recreate the magic of 90s Food Network? And we're going to try. That's kind of the direction we're going to be going into. But we will get into that a little bit later when we get closer to it. All right, so the next thing, we could check our dough, or maybe we start making that filling. Actually, let's fix the dough out. Okay. I'm just going to give this a little stir and taste this oil and see where we're at infusion-wise. Again, this kind of oil stuff is always very hard when there's no seasoning in it because there's no salt and there's no water. So it takes a while for the oil to kind of release its flavors in your mouth. All right, we're going to let this keep hanging out over here. Keep chilling. Yan Can Cook was a very entertaining show. I agree. I think Yan Can Cook was one of the best. One of the best out there. I'm going back and looking and, you know, comparing Yan Can Cook to a lot of the other bigger celebrity chefs or celebrity chefs at that time. He was great. Entertaining, fast-paced. I really enjoyed his stuff. Yes, Noshing, we got a new show we're going to be working on. It's going to be tight. It's going to be high energy. And I'm excited about it. I'm excited. To know black cardamom is to know green cardamom. Black is the roasted like version. It's softer but deeper at the same time. And Chad says has a menthol quality. It's sort of like, no. Okay. I'm sorry. Black is like the roasted like version. Roasted. Kind of roasted. It's powerful stuff. You're competing with the FIFA World Cup right now. Well, FIFA better be scared, I'll say that. All right, let's get this filling done. Beef is down here. All right, couple things. So we have very thinly sliced beef. I'm gonna go ahead and I wanna hand chop this. Keep my jelly down here, actually. All right, so this is just sliced beef. It's very thinly cut, but I do want to hand chop it. I do want to get the texture a little bit finer. So we're going to go through and take that down. Hey brother, loving this stream. Just so you know, there's an overlay issue on the right side of the stream. Oh, I see that. Thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Thank you. Okay. Slippy, thank you for the tier 1. Awesome. All right, so we are going to cut this beef. All right, so I'm not trying to make this like a paste, and I'm not trying to make it like ground beef. The last time we did this, the texture of the beef was so nice. And this is exactly what I did. I had this really thinly sliced stuff, and I went through and just roughly chopped it. So this becomes less like a ground beef or the typical soup dumpling texture and more like the texture of like a pho thai, where you have like the sliced beef in there. We forget chat's reading the comments. Yes, I'm always reading the comments. Love your videos. Watching as I'm cooking chicken soup for dinner. Might not have enough time to cook a pho soup dumpling. Got added to my do list. This really worked out. I'm hoping I can capture that same magic I did last time. And I'm really excited to kind of develop these certain dishes that we really like, that I'm really confident to serve to people, that people want to come in and try. Oh, I saw you make that. I really want to try that. I'm excited about that. And I'm definitely going to I'm excited to have a really good bread service too. When people come in to eat here, I'm going to have at least 2 different kinds of bread, maybe 3 or 4. I've been making I make bread almost every day now. And there's been some really, really good loaves that have been happening. All right, so we're just going through. Again, not too small. I'm not looking for the paste. I just want to have a slightly smaller than I bought it. I wish this was fattier, but it's okay. This isn't what I'm serving, so I can imagine if I did this again with like more fat, the flavor, what it would be like. I might even add a little bit of chicken fat in here just to kind of give me the same level as I had before. There's some sinew in here though. Okay. Almost there. I want to do a little bit more. Of course, by the way, your streams are great and I have ADHD and you keep my attention. Okay. I think we're there. I think we're there. I definitely am going to add more fat. I wish I had beef fat to add to this. I just don't. And then the question is, do I add pork fat or do I add chicken fat? I think I'm going to add pork, even though I want to add chicken, but the chicken fat's going to give it a stronger flavor. Okay, where's my bowl? Here we go. All right, this is going in my bowl. And then next, I have a gelatin that I made. So I bought some pho broth yesterday. And I put gelatin inside, basically. It's pretty simple. But now we have a really firm pho broth. So we're going to take that gelatin and we're going to chop it, basically the same as the beef. Let's see if we can get the right amount. Usually they say for the gelatin, it's about equal parts your meat mixture plus your gelatin mixture. So I'm close. Let me just do it all. So let's see what this is going to be. So this is going to be a little bit more, it's probably 15% more liquid than the meat, which is fine. And this is already seasoned pho broth. This is pho broth that's ready to go. And we're going to go through and chop this real small. And I added, there's a lot of gelatin added to this to make it really firm, so it's easy to roll. And so we have less, it won't melt so quickly as I'm working with it. But even as I'm cutting this now, I want to do it pretty fast, and I want to try to handle it with my hands as little as possible so it doesn't melt on me. Now, I think using the pho broth is going to be definitely a good strategy for this. Can't be bad. Gelatin's the kind of thing that if it does melt, you can chill it and it will set again. But the problem is it just takes a while to set. It's not a fast setting gel. So once it melts and you're trying to cool it down and set it again, it might take 40 minutes, an hour, depending on how thin you have it. So we're going to do our best to not melt this right now. Chop it up. But look at this. It looks so cool. What a cool texture. I'm going to try to go as small as I can, although this board's a little bit small to be doing this job on here. It's kind of hard to cut. It's like, especially on the small cutting board. Hard to cut. You can't cook, bro. Cool, Mr. Bean. I'll let myself know. Okay, I'll stop right now. Hey, Chef, you're going to actually do the dough part of the dumplings here? Absolutely. We started making the dough, and once we finish this mixture, we're going to go back and knead it, and we will form them. All right, this is close. This looks like that crystal candy. I want to try that crystal candy. I always see that. Move this a little bit for you. I always see that agar crystal candy stuff. I want to try that. All right, this looks good to me now. Gelatin is much smaller cut. Seems like the size is going to be appropriate. So we'll add our gelatin right into our beef mixture. Hard to get it in the bowl. It's so bouncy. Okay. Good on that now. Let's get a little stinger here. And now we're going to season this up. Seasoning on this is going to be pretty similar, what do we say? Pretty common seasonings. Nothing too wild. Okay. Quick hand wash. That's all I need. Would American barbecue work over there? Sorry, that didn't come up. Would American barbecue work over there? Some good pulled pork, some good pork ribs and pulled pork? I think yes, I think 100%. There's some barbecue spots in here that are doing it. I haven't tried them yet, but Viets love meat and they love American food and they would love American barbecue. The issue was price point. So it can't be too heavy. I think a beef rib you'd really struggle with, but pork, if we're staying in the pork realm, I think it'll do well. And a pulled pork sandwich will do well. And then it opens you up to that pulled pork banh mi option too. I think that's going to do really well too. Okay. So let's add a little bit of pork fat. And again, I wouldn't be adding this if the beef was really fatty. But I just don't see it being that fatty. All right, so I'm going to add probably, let's see, about that much. 15 grams, that seems about right. And we'll do some fish sauce. Smells good. Wow. Pork fat. MSG. Honey, you're wearing my CKSK colors. Yes, you just need an orange shirt. Okay. All right. MSG. And we'll do some white pepper. You can use black too. Black would be perfectly fine as well. Or both. Combination's always good too. Ryan, we're doing a pho soup dumpling over here. Are you going to have help cooking and serving for the pop-up? No. I'm just going to be my wife. We're doing 30 banh mi's. On July 1st, Wednesday, July 1st, we're having our first event. We're doing a banh mi pop-up. 30 banh mi's given away. First 30 people get it. So we will be live streaming on the day. So you can kind of confirm to see if we're sold out or not, if it's worth coming out, if we're already done. But I would imagine it's going to go pretty darn quick. And the only thing we're asking for is you take a bite and tell us what you think. Tang will be there with a camera. We want to hear what you think. And we're going to go fish sauce. That seems good. Okay, maybe a tiny bit more. And again, I'm going to taste this before we season it, so or before we start cooking, so there's no issues here. All right, and we're going to get some shallot. I would prefer to use green onion. I just don't have any. And even for this, I would just be using the bottom of the green onion. So it's not a big deal. The shallot's going to work perfectly fine as well. I'm just looking at the amount here. This seems appropriate. Okay, let's start there. Get these guys, see how much this is. You ever get tired of eating Viet food and need a break from it? Absolutely. I get tired of eating all food and need a break from it. I'm a man who likes novelty and new things. I get bored quickly. It's very, very rare I'll eat the same thing in a row or even the same thing in a week. So I like new food all the time. And I definitely go through phases where I'm like hardcore into Viet and where I just want to eat anything else. That's why I say I'm very spoiled with Vietnamese food. There's so much around me and it's part of my daily life here. I don't appreciate it all the time. And I try to remember, yo, this is really good stuff right around here. Like, appreciate how good it is. It's so easy for me to get bom bo hue every second I want. And I think that's the good thing. It was hard to appreciate the last couple weeks because it was so hot. But now that the weather's cooling down and we can sit on the street again and just eat normal food, it's great. We had a good meal yesterday. We had bum bam yesterday in the alleyways of District 4, and it was just a great time. Super nice. Okay, so let's get these shallots minced up, and we'll add it to our filling. If I was really concerned about the heat of this kitchen, I would keep this beef and gelatin in the refrigerator, but this space is not that hot right now. It's pretty comfortable, so I'm not concerned about the gelatin melting. All right, so the shallots I'm just going to go through, cut them small, mince it up. I think I'm going to add a little bit of culantro to the filling as well. What up, Aorta? Elizabeth, you could easily marinate pork ribs with lemongrass and fish sauce and grill roast. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that would probably be a good strategy too, is like, I don't know if it's a good strategy or not. It's my strategy. Maybe it's a better strategy to make a super authentic American-style barbecue, but it would be hard for me to not add some sort of flair or twist from Vietnam or little Asian flavors. Because I've done some barbecue sauces in the past with lemongrass and shrimp paste. Really good. I did this exact thing. I made barbecue ribs, but the barbecue sauce had some lemongrass and shrimp paste inside. It worked out so well. People loved it. And I think Vietnam, or just this part of the world, Southeast Asia, has so many ingredients that give you such an opportunity to add just a unique flavor to a traditional dish. So it's very fun in that way. All right, we'll go through quick, chop this up. How long did you cook the stock? Lazy, this one was just bought. So we are lucky enough to be able to get pho broth anywhere. Pretty much on every single corner, there's a pho restaurant. So no matter where you are, basically within 2 minutes of driving, there'll be a pho spot. And you can always go to any spot and just say like, hey, can I get a pho kham? Or can I get a soup with nothing, a soup plain? And they'll just give you a little portion of broth for, I think I paid 40 cents yesterday. But typically, if I was making the pho broth from scratch, it would be an 8-hour cook, at least, for the bones. And I guess it also depends on how big your bones are cut. If your bones are cut really small, you can probably get away with 3 or 4 hours. But if you're talking about big bones, 8 hours at least. All right, shallots are going into our beef mixture. And I will grab that culantro, and that's going to be the end of this filling. So I have some of the herbs for pho that we typically get. I have the rao om, aka the rice patty herb. The rice patty herb here, which I love so much. And then we also have the culantro, which is kind of basically a cilantro. Almost the same flavor as cilantro. And we'll use that. All right. The rao om we're going to add on the top when we garnish, but this we can add right through it. Okay. If you guys haven't, if you don't have a cook scale yet or a chef scale yet, get a scale. It's so easy to work with. Hold on. It makes it so nice to work with, to document recipes. You just throw everything on there and write the number down. It's so quick. You don't have to measure out tablespoons and cups and all that crap. It's much better. Okay, so we'll go through and chiffonade this real fast. Okay. Right in. Treeing a win. What's up, Tree? Scales for the win. Absolutely. Add palm sugar too. I don't think I'm adding any sugar. The broth is on a little bit sweet. It's Southern style, so it's a little sweet. I don't think I need any sugar here. So I'm just going to mix this filling up. I want to mix this filling up. And again, I'm worried about the gelatin melting. That is one concern. But I do have that pork fat. So really what I want to do is to kind of work the pork fat into the meat so I can get that evenly distributed before I start mixing into the gelatin. So I'm kind of keeping the gelatin on one side of the bowl, working that pork fat in, and then I'll slowly go over and reach for the gelatin once I feel like it's mixed well. Okay, so let's bring in the gelatin now and mix this up. Oh, it smells good. I'm trying to get a good, even mix on this. I'll tell you right now, I think everything could have been chopped up more. so I could have a better mix. The beef could, if everything was cut up small, it'd mix a little bit more evenly. So it might be a little bit harder on the folding for me, but it'll be okay. I'm just trying to squeeze it really well now. BT Murphy sticking with his freedom units. You can set your gram scale to freedom units. It works. I can go ounces over here if I want to. Wow, this smells so good. And I know it's that pho broth is starting to warm up from the gelatin. That's why all the aromatics for the pho are coming out. Of course, oh no, I can't use that pan. Bummer. Okay, I'll figure it out. What's this, the gelatin pan? I'm gonna take a little bit of this and cook it, just so I can taste the seasoning and see if I'm on point with seasoning. So I'll squeeze it a little bit more. I'll grab a very small portion, throw it into the bowl, and then we'll just heat this up on the fire and try to just taste it for seasoning. Okay, but this looks pretty good. All right, so this will come on the fire. Kind of crazy to cook this in a little bowl, but we're doing it. And I'm going to keep my gelatin in the fridge. At this point, I want to make sure I do not overcook or do not warm it up too much. So this pot, really I'm just trying to get the seasoning. So I don't need this to be beautifully cooked. I don't need the beef to be perfect. I'm just trying to have the beef not be raw before I taste it. That's it. Are you going to add any toppings to the dumplings? Yes. Yes. Some pho condiments. We're going to make some pickled chilies. Actually, we'll do the dough next. Finish the dough. And then we'll pickle some chilies. And then we'll start stuffing. But I just want to see this beef so we can get a taste on here. Don't most people like to bite their meat compared to super melty off the bone type of meat? Yes, but they also do appreciate super melty off the bone meat. They do like a chew to the meat, but if it's a Western dish and they're not expecting to have the chew and they get this super unctuous tender meat, they like it. They will appreciate it. For some stuff, they may think it's too soft, like just like a piece of grilled chicken. If you're talking about a garden chicken compared to a industrial chicken or a factory chicken, that they can say it's too soft. But if they're eating American barbecue, where it is cooked to be succulent, then they can appreciate that, especially if it's fatty. What's the deal with white pepper? Well, it's good. It's a softer flavor. I had chefs in the past that just were very, very clear. Their only kind of rule was if it's a white product, it gets white pepper, because they didn't like seeing black pepper in a white product or a white sauce or a white whatever, mashed potato. And I understood that thought process. I don't particularly hold that same idea. For me, it's really, do I want the flavor of black pepper or do I want the flavor of white pepper? And I'm perfectly fine having mashed potatoes and seeing black pepper in there. That's not an issue to me, if that's the flavor I want. Black pepper is more aggressive, more spicy. White pepper is a little more heady, soft. It's quite good. I think if you're not cooking with white pepper yet, you can just start incorporating it, especially like a beef stir fry is a good way to start. Beef, broccoli, beef and asparagus, beef and onion, whatever it may be. Oyster sauce and a lot of white pepper. Maybe sesame seeds, or if you're into that. And white pepper, you might get quickly addicted. I definitely went through a phase where I was like using it all the time. I was all about it. Okay, let's try the beef out. It's really good. Okay, that's right on. The pho broth. Wow, that's gonna be good. Okay. The magic has been captured yet again. That's gonna be fantastic. Oh! Hannibal, sorry, I didn't understand your question. I meant, are you going to have help with the pop-ups? Not right away. Yes, I guess so. I'm gonna cook. My wife is gonna serve. we're going to keep doing this husband-wife combo thing. So that should be fun. I'm definitely going to have a dishwasher. I'm going to need a dishwasher on the night. It's going to be a lot of dishes. I can't put that on tree. In terms of a secondary cook or a prep cook, I'm open to it. I would love to help, but I'm not like in a rush to hire. I'm perfectly happy and capable of doing it by myself. And so I don't want to be like forced to hire. But if I find the right person, absolutely. It's always great to have another set of hands. It's nice to have somebody you like working with. But what I'm saying is that I'm not going to be, I'm in a good situation where I have no pressure to hire, where I need somebody. And I'm forced to maybe work with a candidate or a cook who I'm not super excited about. So if I find a young cook who is really passionate and there's good vibes, then I'm down. I'm happy to take them on board. But the whole idea of what we're doing right now is to keep it nice and small, to keep it where my wife and I are able to do everything. What's your guilty, lazy food pleasure? Late night snacking. And that would probably be, if there's chocolate, it's trouble. That's a troubling situation. Chocolate's not good for me. I mean, how do I phrase it? Chocolate is a dangerous thing around me because I like it so much. And I guess I do very much keep chips out of my house because late night, Doritos or any kind of potato chip or something like that, it's not anything crunchy is going to be trouble too. So I know myself enough to not keep that in the house. Okay, spice oil is good. I'm going to keep it in there just infusing for now. Let's go ahead and work this dough out. So if you remember, if you were here earlier on the stream, we have a hot water dough. So this is just wheat flour and water. The wheat flour, first we poured boiling hot water onto this dough. We mixed it, then we added some fresh tap water onto it. And we have this sort of rough, not smooth dough at the moment. So we need to knead this until we smooth it out. So that's what we're going to do. Spend a couple seconds on this. And just give it a little knead. This kind of dough is really easy to work with. It doesn't stick very much. It gets smoother. Wow, look at that. God, it's almost smooth already. Like if you go ahead and try to make a straight pasta dough where you're just adding olive oil, eggs, room temperature water. Hold on. That takes a long time to knead. That takes a long time to get smooth. This is almost smooth. 4 seconds. I thought I was going to be working this a little bit harder. I can't believe it. That's crazy. Okay. Well, I guess we have a couple more seconds here. I thought this was going to be a 4-minute project. Viet food is so diverse you never really get bored. That's true. You know what I do? Oftentimes, though, with Viet food, I just want bread. Or I want like a sandwich, or I want bread. I don't want a banh mi. You know, I just don't want a banh mi. I want something else. I want a sandwich. So that I crave that a lot when I'm that would be like when I'm burnt out on Viet food. I don't want to eat it because I want some sort of bread. But Viet food is quite diverse. And it can be as healthy as you want. There's tons of junk food too. So you just want to get some fried stuff, you can get that too. There's a lot. Do you have a target audience for the banh mi? Families in the park, working class, fine dining folks? I mean, it's tourists, foreigners, and I guess, how would I phrase it? Middle class Viets, I guess you could say it like that. Our price point's not going to be low at all. Banh mi price point's going to be right around 70K, which is an expensive banh mi. But it's going to be loaded. It's a big ass banh mi. It's delicious, and it's not like outrageous. There's more expensive banh mis in the city. So if you look at a place like Banh Mi Huân Hoa, which is the #1 banh mi in the city in terms of popularity. They're crushing it in terms of sales. And they're getting, every tourist is going there because they have to, because it's on a list. And then they're still getting a crap ton of local orders. So offices will order 20 banh mis for the office building. So my audience is really just the price point, 70K and up. But I think well, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how this first run goes, how it works out, how everybody's feeling about it. And I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited to just give away some banh mis on the street here and get it up. And it's fun to do stuff like that. A barbecue ribs recipe video would be cool. I think that will definitely happen. because as I'm saying, like these streams for me right now are going to be building out these signature recipes for the space. And that barbecue sauce I made before with the mom tom and lemongrass, that was fantastic. And I did similar things for like a coating for a meatloaf, also fantastic. So I think that will happen. I have a scale, but I only use it for baking, and that's good. It's just if you're trying to document something. So even for savory, for non-baking, if you're trying to document a recipe, the scales, there's nothing better than a scale, than a gram scale. Okay, this seems pretty good. Maybe a little bit longer. Getting there. An hour late, but we're here. What's up, Nico? Nico was one of the people that did join us at CKSK for one of the earlier events in the other studio. Nico, did you have a favorite dish from the event that you were at? I'm recreating dishes from the pop-ups, and I want to perfect the recipe so we can recreate them for future pop-ups. I'm just curious if there's anything Nico had that really stood out. I have bought a huge box of those food gloves. Such a pain in the butt. Yeah, they suck. I really only use them for super quick tasks or things that don't require a lot of work, physical hand work. I have the other nitrile gloves for if I really actually need to get involved with something and I'm working hard. But if I'm just grabbing a piece of raw meat, those gloves are good. They're easy to put on. They're cheap. Okay. Okay, so I'm just afraid about this dough being a little bit on the dry side. Because it's not super smooth. Let me see what it feels like in a small ball. Let me get on my board and work it a little bit. I think it's going to be easier for me to get it on my board. Got to see more members on this channel. I agree, Gabagoon. If you like what I'm doing, become a member. We'll be giving out all the recipes as we're doing these. And there's going to be some benefits coming up too for the banh mi. And there'll be a benefit to anyone who shows up. If you're one of the few people who get the first 30 banh mi's on July 1st, you'll be on the list. On the good list, I'll say. All right, so I'm folding this dough over. This is standard kneading. Fold the dough using the weight of the power of my palm, pushing forward, turning the dough, folding on itself again, and just repeating that process. What's up? What's up? Okay. All right. All right, so we're just mixing this up. Getting this on the board is much easier, so I'm almost there now. Italian food is overrated. I don't know if that's true. Italian food's pretty great. I had spaghetti and meatballs a couple weeks ago, and it was pretty fantastic. All right, let's call that a day here. Dough's much smoother than it was. Okay. Keep that covered. Next. So we're going to make a little topping for the pho. And of course, why is this so overexposed? Chill out. I like the pho with chili. I do like chili. And I think a little bit of a pickled chili is very nice. We do need some acidity when we're serving this dish. So these chilies here, these are quite hot. And we're just going to slice these thin, and we'll give them a really quick pickle. Chef, since you like chocolate so much, have you ever made mole? Yeah. I think I've made mole just once. When I was 16, I was working in a kitchen with a lot of Mexicans, and they made mole for the first time. That was the first time I had mole. It blew my mind. I thought it was absolutely incredible. So at that time period of my life, 16 to 18, I was working with a lot of Mexicans. So I was cooking more in that style. I haven't done that in years. But that was the time period where I started to try to make mole. And it was very, very exciting dish. I think mole is a top tier dish. Super interesting, beautiful flavor. Okay, so these chilies, we're gonna go super thin, as thin as I can. Okay. And we'll go right into our little bowl. For this pickle too, we're going to make a really simple pickle. A pickle can be as simple as just pouring some vinegar on top, and that's what we're going to do. So I don't want this pickle to be sweet. I'm not looking for this pickle to be balanced. I want this pickle to be aggressive. So it's just going to be straight vinegar. We're going to cover it with vinegar. That's it. A little bit of salt. Where did I put my salt? Here. No, that's MSG. Where did I do a little salt. And we are good to go. So when you're doing this strong of a pickle, when it's just straight vinegar, it happens fast. So I would say even a 10-minute sit in the vinegar like this will do something. You know, you'll get a pickling effect. So that's all we really need. Very fast. From here, that's it. Now it's time to strain this oil out. We have our aromatic oil. And we're going to go through, strain this out, and just get our pure, clean oil from this. So you can see we have this nice orangey oil going on. Okay. Looks nice. Now, I think we're ready to go. Oil's done, filling's done, dough's done. Oh, let's cut the garlic and get that covered. Where's my garlic at? So the other garnish that we're going to add to, oh my God, I almost dropped my bowl. That would have been so bad. The other garnish we're going to add to the topping of the dumpling is some pickled garlic. So we'll have the pickled chili and the pickled garlic, double. Nico here. All of them are I was just asking Nico if he had a favorite dish from the Pop I'll Be Joined. All of them are absolutely fantastic. I can go back and review the videos I took. I do remember that chili jam being absolutely phenomenal. Also porchetta. Oh, that was the porchetta day. Oh, yeah, that was the Tron day. Yeah, we had the orange, like a fried orange with the duck inside. The Tron cake, that was wild. That was a hard dinner to make. We made a Tron-themed dinner. And it's very hard to make a themed dinner. It's very hard to make a dinner around a theme when the theme has no food whatsoever in it. So that was one of the harder challenges we did. So this garlic is very simple, but pickled. Pretty pure garlic flavor. And I'm just going to cut decent thickness on the slice here. I do want you to kind of crunch into the garlic when you bite the dumpling. And the other thing that was really hard about that Tron dinner too, yo, you lost me, dude. Where are you going? I'm right here. The Tron dinner was Tron is all about the colors red and blue, right? That was super hard. Yeah, trying to make blue food, that was super hard. And I made a blue cake with butterfly pea tea. That was the other thing. Yo, you can stop spinning around there, buddy. That's enough for you. And then the other thing, I remember we made a pre-dessert with like a spicy red marshmallow. And there was something blue. Oh no, it was a blue marshmallow and then it was like a spicy sorbet. Capsicum sorbet, that was cool. They were fun. I'm excited to do the dinners again, even though they're hard and they're a lot of work. I like the food that gets created during them. Italian feels like so much of a tiny variance of one dish to me. Yeah, and I can make that argument too about every single cuisine. The Mexicans just tacos over and over again, or corn over and over again. Vietnam's just rice over and over again in different forms. I get the argument, and it's a fun argument to make too. You can usually find a way to talk trash in every cuisine, but every cuisine kind of has a few core techniques or a few core ingredients that they work with, and they just explore them in the deepest way possible. And I find that super interesting. I like to see what people do with food when they get creative. No chocolate here. Totally agree, Chad. I used to always have Ghirardelli 1 square a night, but that turns into 2. Yes, and then that turns into 3. Because there's a lot of flavors, you know. You got to try one flavor and try the next flavor too. I used to lucky enough to buy banh mi loaves at a local Viet store, but they were put out of biz by a Lotte type store. Shame. Strong local South Viet population where I live. That's a bummer. Yeah, it's hard when you lose those small spots. They give you that 1 or 2 things that you really like. And not tip long ago, the store would sell those crisp loaves 7 for $3. But then the other store, COVID, totally changed the food. So bummer. 7 for $3 is a good deal. Do you have any top travel places you'd want to bring the fam for food? Would make any videos on the trip? Yes. I want to bring the kids to Japan. I want to bring the kids to Korea. That's my top right now. That's where I want to go. Personally, for my own curiosity, I want to go to Turkey and Iran. I like the food that I'm seeing from those 2 places. I don't know if that's a family trip or not, but definitely the kids, I think Japan and Korea are good trips for the family. Chad, do you feel blessed to be born in the USA? Why? Yes, I do feel blessed to be born in the USA. I think it's a very, it's a very lucky gift to be born in the States. Why? America's a pretty strong country to be born in. It's good to be a citizen of a strong country. It's good to be a citizen of the country that most people want to go to or live. So that's nice. I get to explore the world or hang out in Vietnam for as long as I want, but I do always have that American citizenship that I can go back. I can go back to America. It's hard. There's no way that you cannot escape the American tax man. That's a little bit of an issue, even if I live in Vietnam for the next 50 years. So there is some downsides to it. But I think America does grant a lot of opportunities, even though it's going through a pretty unique time period, a difficult time period, maybe not its best time period. I believe in America deeply, and I think that in a couple years, a decade or whatever it's going to be, America is going to be great again and be a place that will be strong and good for everybody. But, you know, every empire goes through down periods, and we're going through a down period. Yeah, but I think that I answered that question. Anything else? Blessed to be born in the USA? America's gigantic. It has great variety. You could stay in America your whole life and see a tremendous amount of climates and wildlife, and it's beautiful. America's a great place. I love it. It's wonderful. It's a little pricey, but it's a wonderful place. And it's just so varied. You can get whatever you want depending on where you want to live. So that part's super cool too. Tron dinner was epic. Those videos gave me inspiration to try and make course meals for my friends. That's cool. I'm glad to hear that. That's cool. Okay, let's keep moving forward. Dumplings. Oh, let's get my steamer out. So I do have a little steamer today, which should be fun. A little steamer you guys can see through. Better than cooking in my big metal pot. So we'll get some water in here. Is this hot? No. Okay. Okay. If you haven't seen one of these little steamers before, or you don't own one, I would get one. They're really great. They're easy to use. It's nice to be able to see your steamed food. You can serve this at the table. You could do like a hot pot kind of thing at the table, but do it with steamed stuff. And when you have it, I think you use it more, and that's always good. It's always good to eat steamed food. There's nothing wrong with that. All right, let's get my plug situation set up here. I think Americans have the most logical patriotism in the world. Okay. I guess I can agree with that. Oh, that's going to be hard. Okay. All right. We're going to have a cable running on the ground, but you won't see it, so that's good. Keep my shot clean. I agree. Politics aside, Iranian food is very wholesome and simple. Not meat and potatoes, but meat with rice. Yes, and the food I've seen is really, really cool. Especially, we got to give big thanks to Sunnyside from Best Food Ever Review Show. It's so confusing. I never know the real name. But I know there's the Best Ever Food Review Show. He's been documenting, man. He's going to Afghanistan, he's going to Iran, he's going to Iraq, he's going to the Middle East and all these different places and showing us some of the cuisine of each of these lands, and it's interesting. I think he's doing a great job. I think he's doing a great job at showing this, and he got me excited. I want to go to Iran now. I'm very curious. The cuisine of that world is super unknown to me, and it looks good. And I like pomegranate seeds, so I like that. I like pomegranate seeds. I like dates. I like pistachios, and I like phyllo dough, so it's probably going to be something I'm into. Where were you living before coming to Vietnam? First time I was in Chicago. I was working in Chicago, and I went from Chicago straight to Vietnam, where I lived for 6 years. And then I went back to America for 10 years, and during that time I lived in Pennsylvania and North Carolina, a little bit of road trip everywhere, but mostly Pennsylvania and North Carolina. And then we came back again. I hear Europe is much harder to live, higher taxes, higher inflation, and a lower income than the U.S. It seems like it. It seems like Europe might be, I'm talking out of my ass, I don't know. It seems like it might be easier to live if you're living off of benefits. But if you're trying to build and actually make money, it seems like it's easier to do that in the States, even though it's hard in the States. And even though the government's going to screw you, just like the European government will. It does seem a little bit easier to actually build something big in America. Okay, is this on? Yes. All right. Let's start forming. All right, so I'm going to portion out these dough balls. And I'm very excited. I got I got 2 different small rolling pins, so this should work out better for me than last time. We have our nice little dough ball. I believe last time I did these at about 13-gram portions, so I'm going to try to do something similar because that worked out. This seems like the right amount. 16 grams, okay. And it's always good, you know, again, that's another thing where the gram scale helps so much. Just super fast, 13 exactly. And I like a gram scale too because you get really good at your portioning size. Because you're visually looking at it, okay, that's what 13 grams looks like. And I think it's a great way to practice portioning. Okay, so let's get a couple of these going. 13, 11, 13. Have you considered to come visit Australia? I have. We haven't gone yet. I guess that would be another thing too. That would be another one for the kids. So that would be on there. Okay, it's enough, guys. That would be on the list for Korea, Japan, Australia. Would be another one for the kids' trip. And I've interacted and met a lot of Australians through the tours and through the dinners. Definitely cool people, and we have a lot of personal invitations of like, hey, if you're coming through, we got a house for you to stay at. So I think we could probably make a pretty great trip of it and see some friends that we made in the past. And I want to eat a meat pie. I want to eat a meat pie. I want to eat that. I'm going to make that. Okay, thank you guys. Be quiet. Okay. 17. All right, let's call it there. We got a couple to roll. And I got some extra. I said I made a big batch because I wanted to have extra dumplings. All right, so we got these little guys here. I'm just going to shape them into circles at first to start. Give us an easy place to start. And the dough's so nice, it doesn't stick. This kind of dough, like, really doesn't stick. I have my beef filling ready to go. And we'll start rolling these things. Oh wait, before we do that. Okay, let's be ahead of the game here, Chad. I want to get my trays lined up. So when my dumplings are done, I have a place to land them. So let's get some paper on here. Okay. And if you don't have any like pre-made sheets, you can always just fold this stuff a couple times. And then make a couple little snips with your scissors. And you'll get a little steaming sheet. I'll snip the tip. And then we'll go ahead and just cut little triangles into this just so the steam can go through and cook your dumplings properly. And this is a good way just so your dumplings don't stick to your cooking tray. You could also just oil. You could oil this tray up and to prevent the dumplings from sticking. I prefer to do this though. Kind of fun. Gives me my arts and crafts vibes. And I don't have to add any more oil. And then with the machine I'm using where I have this like steamer set up, I don't want oil to go in there. Then I gotta clean it up. It gets annoying. Let's see, did I do it? That'll work. Clear these out. Okay. We're good. Let's try to shape these things. People swear by rice cookers, but if you've made enough pots of rots, you'll know when it's tender and not blown out. Yeah, you can make it, absolutely. A rice cooker is just foolproof and easy, and it holds the rice well. That's another thing. After you cook it, it holds well. Where the a pot, you know, the rice will stay good on there for 20, 30 minutes. But in a rice cooker, the rice will stay good for hours. So that part's cool. All right, we'll find out now which rolling pin I like better for this. And then we'll see. Because this is it's a unique rolling process when we're doing, well, I don't know if I like this one already. Maybe I like this one. Let me see. So first we're going to roll it flat. I'm going to roll it pretty flat, try to get a nice circle. And then the big thing, oh, maybe I can just use these circles. That's going to help me out. Then the big thing is you want to roll, like I'm keeping my finger in the center. So I'm never rolling the center. I'm rolling the edges around the center because you want the center to be thicker than the outside. So I'm kind of rolling the outside, twisting with my fingers, but keeping the center on the thicker side because we need to have that bottom to have a little bit more strength. Let me try with this one. No. No, dude, not that, not that, not that. That's not the one. Okay, this will work. And I'm surprised I don't even need any flour right now. The dough feels great. I'll go a little bit bigger. I'm just taking my time. You know, maybe if I was a pro, I could use the Chinese cleaver and just smash it out. I've seen the guys do that too. That's pretty cool. Okay, so that seems pretty good. And then we'll get to the pleating part, which I think is easier than you think. Or maybe it's easy if you've done something similar to this. I didn't struggle that much the first time I did it. Chef, did you have any, before your wife, did you have any girlfriends? I did. Nothing crazy serious though. Nothing was really capturing my attention for any length of time there. I was also a very shy kid and I was a hard-ass worker. So I just had my head down working in kitchens the whole time. Okay. All right, so probably let's get an idea how much a scoop portion is going to be. So again, I have this filling. If you're just tuning in, this is a sliced beef with pho broth that's been turned into a gelatin. We season it with pepper, fish sauce, MSG, some raw shallot, and some culantro. And we'll just take a little scoop. Wait a minute. This is the kind of thing you want to put as much filling in as you can. And you can put in even like a little bit more than you think is possible because the dough's stretchy. So let's see. We got this thing stuffed. Then we're going to kind of take a... Do I have to remember how to do this? Yes, I take a pinch. Wait a minute. I forgot how to do it. Pinch this. I think I'm using the wrong finger. Let me do the other side. Yeah, that's better. I'm just kind of pushing it down. Uh-oh, I don't like it. I'm doing left hand. Oh man, I had the technique before. I forgot how I did it. Okay, let's ignore the first one. Next one's going to be better. Oh my God, that's a rough one. That's in the back. I should have watched how I did it. All right, we're going to roll another one. We'll get it. No problem. Nice view of the board. Awesome. Thank you. Chef, what country was your kids born? Just curious if we're dual citizen, both American and Vietnam. They are dual citizen. They're lucky about that. But they were born in the States. All right, let's try again. Roll it. Okay. Roll it. Wow, that worked out well. Go through and fix the sides a little bit. All right, now I got to think, how did I pleat this before? I definitely did my right hand. All right, now pinch that. It's better, but I still don't have the motion. I did this so much better the first time I did it. And this gelatin's too big. If you're, you know, maybe I can do it like this. Let me do it. I don't like the texture of the meat right now. So I'm just gonna hit it with my mixer and try to chop up the gelatin a little bit. I was trying to move forward because of the stream, but I should have taken my time and did it well with the chopping of the beef and the chopping of the gelatin. We should get a better texture with the gelatin, throwing it in here a little bit. All right, let's try it there. All right, so let's try again. Make the next one wider. I just came in. What flavor pho dumplings are you making? Pho. That's the flavor. Beef pho. Okay, gelatin definitely looks better now. Mixture looks better. Should be easier to roll now. Freddie's going to be watching this going, dude, that's not how you did it before. They look so much nicer before. I'm going to get a little bit of flour now. It's starting to stick as I'm rolling them now. Probably a stupid question, but would you be able to make sourdough dumpling dough? I think yes. I think I can make anything sourdough. There's definitely things that are going to have to be worked out. The sourdough acts differently. But I love sourdough and I'm curious about it, so it's something I would spend time on. I really want to try to make a sourdough cinnamon roll. That's my big thing. I love cinnamon rolls. I want more cinnamon rolls. And I'm really all about sourdough at the moment, so that would be what I'm going to try to do in terms of unique sourdough items. Okay, wrapper's definitely getting thinner. Easy to wrap now. I think I just didn't roll them big enough before. I think that was it. The gelatin was hard. By hard, I mean too big. And I don't think I rolled it. Here we go. Now we're looking. Okay, let's try again. And that's why we're doing this. We're doing this to practice. All right, so I remember. I had this first one I need to pinch. Oh, and I think I did it on the board at first. I just super pinch it. Now I remember. Super pinch. Super pinch. Okay. Now we better. Now we better. Now I get it. Took me a second. But we're back, everybody. Dim Sum Chat is here. The first one is for the chef anyways, absolutely. Sometimes if it's a beautiful one, it's for the guest. But if it's not, it's definitely for the chef. Okay, now I feel better. So it's a little bit of flour. You don't need much, but a little bit of flour helps, especially after the first one. And I need to make sure I roll it big. And at first, I keep it on the board. The first couple pinches, get them on the board until this shape. And what I mean is I'm not shaping it in my hand. I have the dumpling on the board as I'm doing the first couple pinches until it has its shape made. I do like the way the meat, I prefer using this sliced meat over the ground meat. The sliced meat and then hand chopping it over the ground meat because the texture is much more chewy, I guess. You do have a little bit more of a firmer texture. The meat is more clearly identifiable as like sliced and not just ground. So I think that's cool. And as I'm doing this, so at this point I kind of have this shaped, so I could pick it up. But we're going to keep the filling inside. We bring a little corner over. Grab it with my left hand, pinch it hard, and then just keep that process going. You kind of keep stretching and pinching. Until it all comes together. And you get this little top. And even once you get it pinched off, you can kind of reshape it. But as it cooks, it will steam and it kind of will fill in its own gaps. Okay. So we have our tray. We'll start putting these on here. I'll even put the crappy ones on there. Well, I will eat them. Ooh, this one's a rough one. Those first two. Yowzer. First two are not it. Okay. I bought a huge box of this food. Oh, I heard that. Cool. That good. Okay. Whoa. No, sound ain't cool. I bet you we like sound. I think you got sound now. Come on now, sound. You should hear it. You got it. I know you got it. Get out, Tang. We don't need Tang. How did the deli meat turn out? It was great. It turned out super good. We had sandwiches for like the next 3 days. On a hoagie roll, fantastic. I'm totally doing it again. In terms of like, it really captured a turkey kind of club, turkey hoagie kind of vibe. I didn't love the look of it because it had a lot of air bubbles running through it, so I want to try it again, a little bit different style. Or if I had a vacuum sealer, it'd be nice. I could vacuum seal and pull the air out of it. But it's that chicken loaf or lunch meat that we made is going to be something I have in the house all the time. It'll be a normal thing for me to prep and have in the home. Just like the bread, sourdoughs become very normal for me to have in the house at all times. We will have some sort of cold sliced chicken loaf to have in the house at all times too. It's a great snack too. It's like no fat, high protein snack. That's one of these things where I try to make sure I keep my fridge stocked with healthy snacks. So if I'm going to eat at night, it's going to be chicken breast and not Doritos. All right, so I'm going to do this last one, and then we'll steam them. Oh, I forgot one more thing. Okay. No problem. All right, let's do this quick. So we're going to get these steaming. We learned last time, or I learned last time, 10 minutes was the amount to steam. So let's get these in the steamer right now. Maybe I'm going to trim this edge. And I forgot last time what I did was I cut some raw onion and I put it on top of the dumplings the last 2 minutes of their cook. And so we had a little bit of a, not quite a raw onion, but still a barely cooked onion on top, just like you would get with a bowl of pho. So we'll do the same right now. But let's get these in first. Get these in the steamer. Beautiful. We'll get our timer. We'll set the timer for 8 minutes. Clean up our board. And we'll get an onion cut so we can throw that on top of these dumplings as they steam. Really my big thing today was to lock in the filling and to lock in the dough and just the technique of it. The garnishes I'm not as focused on because that's very easy for me to substitute. So last time I had white onion and green onion as my topping. I don't have any right now. But I do have red onion. Actually, I'm going to use shallot. I'll use shallot instead. I don't need that whole big onion. So I have shallot instead, which is fine. It's still going to give me my onion element that I need. No issues there. Oh, we got a guy taking a picture out there. I don't know who that is. Okay. Can you answer the dual citizen question again? We couldn't hear. Yeah. I don't know what I was at there. Kids are on dual citizenship. You can get dual citizenship. It's not. Maybe the law's changing, but it hasn't. My wife's a dual citizen. Yeah. Out of curiosity, did you have a boyfriend before your wife? That's funny. No. Okay. Slice of shallot. And I know I'm going to steam these a little bit, so they don't have to be super thin because they are going to get some cook on it. It's not going to be totally raw. And the other garnish we're going to need is the rao om, or the rice patty herb. What is this track here? Maybe not the best track for us. Okay. So we also have that rice patty herb. Such a unique flavor. To me, very, very special to pho. Something I really like when I can get it. Not easy to find in the States. And really only seen for Southern Vietnamese pho. And it's a strong flavor too. That part's cool. What season or month would you suggest visiting Vietnam? December and January. December and January is the best time to come to Saigon. Vietnam is quite long, so the weather changes dramatically throughout the country. So I'm speaking about Saigon. December and January, dry season, weather's cool. Almost like every day is like 80 degrees, 75, 80 degrees certain times. It's so nice. The sawtooth coriander, I'm just going to cut very little. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. That is my favorite time of the year. It's absolutely incredible. At the end of dry season is miserable. Don't come. 2 months ago, whatever that was. March, June, July, August maybe? August, nightmare. Don't come. This time of the year, it's okay. There's some hot moments, but there are some nice, beautiful days. And there's big rainstorms at this time of the year, so the rain is entertaining, can be enjoyable to watch. It's pretty nice when you get caught in the rain and you're at a coffee shop. It's good moments there. And at nighttime, there are some really good nights. But we do have some periods of hotness, so that December time period is the best. Do they celebrate Christmas? Yes, Eric, they do. They do celebrate Christmas. And they have a unique way of, more and more it gets bigger and bigger. And there's more and more they adapt or adopt Western celebration styles for Christmas. But they have a very unique way they celebrate Christmas where they build these caves where baby Jesus is in. So it's not, there are Santa elements that are coming, but it was more about like Jesus in the cave. That was a lot of the traditional decorations, and they're really fun to see. And during Christmas too, the markets, especially the wholesale markets, are just covered with all the Christmas ornaments, Christmas lights, Christmas everything. They definitely celebrate it here. Is this the original studio you purchased a while back or a new place? JM, I haven't purchased any studios. Everything is rented. But this is my second location. This is the new location we moved into about 6 or 8 weeks ago. And we are still kind of finding our bearings. But we are now at the point where we're launching pop-ups again, where people are coming in to eat here. And we're getting into that next stage where we're beyond the setup phase. So it's super exciting for me. Okay. 2 minutes left on the dumplings. But even after that 2-minute mark, we're going to be throwing the shallots onto steam for 1 more minute so we can get a plate to plate up. I'm thinking I could potentially even present these as like a 1 bite and give you 1 dumpling in a spoon if it was like a first course or a canapé or an appetizer. I could throw the 1 dumpling inside and serve that to everybody. Or I serve it as like 2 dumplings per person. Let me get my little cat bowl. That'll work out. We'll get that thing. I'll be right back in 2 seconds. 1, 2. Okay, and I'm back. Yeah, I'm thinking if I made mini dumplings, these are a little bit too big, but I can make 2 mini ones and throw them in this. Whoa, throw them in this little orange plate. That would be kind of cute. Nice little thing. 2 side-by-side mini guys, or the size I have right now. I could do a single or a double in this bowl too. Either way will work. Either way. Questions are too personal. Now, I have no problem. I'll answer anything. I got no issues there. I'm a very open person. I don't care what you think about me. I don't care if you judge me. Don't do anything to me. All right, so we got our spiced oil that we made. Aromatic. The pickled chili, the pickled garlic. We are good on the garnishes, I believe. I think I remembered everything. Daily Harold, what's up from Florida? I miss Florida. Florida's a pretty cool place. Florida's shockingly beautiful. Some parts of it, rather. Like, there's so many nice trees in Florida. And the water's gorgeous, too. What's up? You what? Oh. Hot outside, huh? Okay, so we're going to start adding our onions to the top of these dumplings. They still look like they need a little bit more time. Ow. So I'm going to wait 30 seconds before we add the onion on there, actually. I'm going to need at least 3 of these dumplings. Well, you're getting 2. You're getting 2. If you come, you're getting 2. I think most of the dinners we do here at the studio are going to be about 5 courses, maybe 4 to 5, depending. So I don't ever want to blow people out in terms of filling them up too quickly, especially on an earlier course format. Yes. Is there any state you haven't visited? Yes, yes. I haven't seen I'm just trying to think, the Midwest. No, that's not true. Because I used to live in Chicago. I've been to Missouri. I actually visited Fred out in Missouri. Anywhere else in the middle? No. And the West Coast, I've only been to California for like a week. So I'm told, I'm going to throw the onions on. I'm told I have to go to Oregon. I'm told I have to go to Oregon, and I'm going to love Oregon. So I'm curious to see Oregon. I like to see Texas. Anything else I really want to see? Maybe like Wyoming. Wyoming would be pretty interesting. I'd love to see the Grand Canyon. Never saw that. All right, let's check this out. So to finish these out, we're going to throw them on with a shallot. And maybe I just put the whole thing on there. It's kind of nice with a shallot. Just put one little ring on there for you. Okay. And we'll put this back on and steam that for another minute. Maybe even a 2-minuter. And we'll plate these bad boys up and try them. We'll see. I think this is going to be a good combination. I have high hopes for it. As I said, the only thing I'm really looking for is just to get more fat in this beef mixture. Other than that, I think the flavor's great. I really think using the pho broth was a good idea. I played it on here. But it looks beautiful to me right now. I like the dumpling. When we get off stream, I'm definitely going to practice a little more pinching technique. I got to watch the video again. I should have watched it before we started today. I don't know why. Before it was very easy for me to do, and this time I struggled. But I know there's just a basic technique. Michigan is amazing. Heard that. Oh, the lakes would be great. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The lakes would be great. Yeah.
Lakes.
If there was another lockdown, would you rather be in the States or Vietnam? That's a hard question. That's a hard question. Honestly, I think I'd rather be in the States. For a while, Vietnam was amazing to be during the lockdown. But when the government took it serious, they really, really locked down, and there was zero freedom whatsoever. I have some hopes that in America, if they did that again, a large percent of the population would not accept it. Where here, I think the large percent of the population would absolutely accept it and do anything they were told. And I would not like that, personally, for me.
What's a lockdown?
During COVID. I would much rather be in a place, if there's an illness going on, it's hard to know it's real, but okay. If there was an illness going on, of course I would like to be cautious, but I also would like to be able to walk in the woods or swim in the ocean by myself if there's nobody around me. I don't think that's acceptable that you're telling me I can't take a walk in the woods by myself. And in America too, I could get a little bit more, usually I'd have a backyard or something, I could grow some food somehow. Okay, we're good. Let's try this thing out. Hopefully no more lockdowns. I'm done with the lockdowns. No more. We don't need no more lockdowns. All right, so we got our beautiful things here. Okay, super soft. So soft. Ow. We're going to grab these out. Okay, cool. All right, so I'm going to turn the steamer off. We'll let these things hang out. We'll finish our 2 little plate up here. So we got our dumplings. And then we're going to cover these with this oil. This is that pho spiced oil, so it has all the spices from the pho. No heat, just the aromatics. Then we'll coat it with some of the pickled garlic. 1 or 2 pickled garlic. And then we'll do the pickled chili as well. Yo, I think this is going to be really cool. And then finally, a little bit of garnish in here. I'm pretty excited. I think this looks super beautiful. I think these are super nice. I like the garnishing of everything. I like the build out with the shallot slices. It looks great. It really does look great. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Maybe just a crack of pepper. Even just for the visual, not even for the flavor, just the visual of it. Okay. I guess maybe the next time I would pickle red chili instead of green chili, just to get a little bit more visual contrast on the plate up. But it does look really good. All right, let's try one of these things. Am I just gonna go for it? Am I just gonna burn my mouth out? All right. Wow. It burst so much. Wow. I agree, BT Murphy. I think 1 might be the way to go. The chili is hot. And it's hard, like, I love the plate up the way it looks, but the way you're eating it, you want to snip that tip, right? So you don't get that, so you can taste that broth, and you can let the steam come out so you don't burn your face off. But the dumpling texture is great. It's cooked really well. It's not undercooked at all. It feels nice. I'm just starting to think, how do I construct this in a way where we still get a beautiful presentation, but we get it easy for people to eat. The broth is really good. The pho broth is really good. And it's so much juice in there too. So the amount of gelatin to meat worked out. I'm going to take the chili off here. Let's try this again without that much chili, because that chili was quite hot and is too much for this portion size, in my opinion. We traveled and moved during the lockdown. Where were you at, Becca? I am Tang the Man. Why is this show boring? I'm glad you're enjoying it, Tang. I'm glad you're watching and enjoying it. Awesome colors, looks so delicious. It looks hot. It is. It blew my face off. Let's try again. With a little herb. And this time not make it so hot. Wow. It's a great dish. It really is fun. It totally feels like a pho soup dumpling. The only thing, the first time I made this, I just like the texture of the beef better. And that was the really fatty beef. So I just want to make sure I get really fatty beef next time. But in terms of the seasoning of the beef and the pleating of the dough and the dough recipe itself, we're good. This is a locked-in recipe. I want a little bit more acidity, and that could be a squirt of lime. Could be as simple as that. And the chili, I'll use the red chili, which are less spicy. I'll cut them smaller. We'll have a better visual contrast on the red. So I think it should be pretty cool. Maybe the chili on the side, smaller shallot cuts. I could also like serve it to people naked and tell them, hey, take a little nibble, suck the juice, and then I'll come back around and top it with everything. And maybe I make sort of like a relish that has the chili diced up with the garlic, with the oil, with the herbs, everything, and just kind of a relish type thing. And then if you take your nibble and suck the juice, then I'll come around and just top it with the stuff. That could be kind of fun too. And because it gives us one more chance to interact in between that course. That'd be cool. I think, will you eat Stuart Little again? Yes, I'll eat Stuart Little again. I'm down with that. It was good. It was good. I enjoyed Stuart Little. I'm excited to see that episode when Tank finishes the edit on that. I'm excited about that. Drummond Islands, I don't know what you're talking about. Drummond Island Solo was beautiful. I don't know what that means. Oh, was that where you traveled to? Oh, I got that. But yeah, there we go. I think we have a pretty locked in Pho Soup Dumpling that we will be producing. So we will be making this for a group first week of July. First week of July this is going to happen, and I think we almost have dinners reserved every week now. Starting in January, or July rather. So typically we're going to be doing dinners on Saturdays. So that's going to be the normal thing. And usually we'd be cooking between 2 to 8 people. Probably 6 people being the ideal number, 6 to 4 being ideal. We're going to keep it nice and small, super intimate. And those dinners will be live streamed as well. Although it's going to be more of a fly on the wall experience, I'm going to be very focused on the guests. That's my number one concern. My concern is the guests, not you guys. So when we're in a dinner, I'm guest focused, and if you are interested to just kind of see the vibe of what's going on, the courses that are being made, and a little bit of reactions from the guests, you're welcome to tune in. I'll give you more info on that when we get there. But don't forget, July 1st, we will be doing the Banh Mi pop-up giveaway. 30 free banh mis to the first 30 people that come, and that will be live as well. So you can keep watching live to see if we have any left before you make a trek out here, if you're driving for a distance. But yeah, that's it. We're going to bring this stream to a close. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel. Give me a comment down below. So do you have vegetables you'd serve it with? Not for this dish. This dish is a single 2-bite course. That's it. Yes, if you enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel. Give us a comment down below. If there's anything you want us to see or do in Saigon, you can put that in the comment section too when this goes up on YouTube. And we're bringing back the word of mouth series for the vlog. So if there's stuff, the series where we get suggestions from locals and then we go try it. So if you have any spots in Saigon we haven't tried yet, you think we need to show off, we need to taste, let us know. Until next time, see you guys later. Peace. Have a great